when Frank opened up this place, all Frank inherited was this idea, this huge hangar. And he had nothing else in it. And you'll see that picture in the front. Take a look at it, how empty it was at that moment. He had just an idea in his head, had to build a place. And he put all the equipment in the middle of the floor here in the skylight area, and they just started building like mad. They needed to fill up the space as quickly as possible because they were afraid the city was going to take it back from them. Because the city gave it to Frank for $1 a year at the beginning. It was one of those hot August days like you'll experience. This place has no heating and cooling, so there'll be days you're going to be freezing to death and other days you'll be sweating right down your back. It was one of those warm days, and so we had opened up the big green doors, which we still do occasionally, get a little circulation going. And a couple people wandered in and said, well, what are you guys doing? And Frank said, well, we're building this new kind of museum. In fact, it's not even a museum. I don't know what to call it yet. He didn't even have the name, the name actually figured out at that point. More and more people started wandering in, and you got to interact with the builders, and they started building more exhibits, and Frank didn't have a whole lot of money, and there were a number of high school students who said, well, listen, we love this stuff, we'll help you. And that was the first Explainer crew.
When I first started this job, I was really focused on how do I get from here to there, like how do I learn how to do cow's eye, how do I learn how to do these magic tricks. And I think that since I've worked here for a longer time, I've learned that it's less about knowing the lens from the vitreous humor, and it's more about how you present it and how you react to visitors and how you respond to what they're telling you.
When I first heard about the job, I was pretty nervous that I had to do a lot of public speaking, and I had to deal with kids, and I wasn't really happy about doing that.
I expected very mean bosses. I expected it to be boring and to have mean bosses, you know what I mean? Like I hear what a job actually is, but it's nothing like that, you know what I mean? I love it here.
Before working at the Exploratorium, I thought I was going to sit in an office all day and be boring.
Here you have this great opportunity that some people may not appreciate at first, like I did. You don't realize how much you can actually grow here, how much leniency we actually get, how much they support us and actually care about what's going on in our personal lives, not so much what we bring to the job.
Being an explainer is fun because I get to interact with the public while working as a job. So it's fun, it's interactive, and I get to learn.
Pretty much one of the main things that's always like giving me a boost about this job and everything is that like my parents and like my peers always told me that, you're gonna have jobs in life that you don't really like, or that you're gonna have bosses that aren't really like accepting or just like mean people and everything. And when you come to work here, or when I did start working here and everything, there was just such a nice like reaction from person to person and everything. Like I can honestly say I love my job, and that was something like I never thought I'd be able to say about a first job and everything. To be honest with you, being an explainer it was an opportunity in itself, you know what I mean? But also working here in this shop is a great opportunity too.
Working here actually been great because I actually gained like new skills, mostly communication skills. I get to be more friendly, more people.
I think that being an explainer has impacted my life in that it's made me aware of, I guess, the diversity of people who work here has made me really think about the people that I'm surrounded with outside of this program.
I think it's made me more aware of all the great science that's happening. When I'm outside, and now whenever I'm in the shade, I do this thing that Modesto taught us, where you make a little hole with your fingers, and then you can like separate out the branches and the shadows. And I do that all the time now. I find myself doing that, and like just little stuff that I've learned and I picked up, and it's so cool. It's really interesting, and it's just something that when I'm walking in the park or something that I can look around and be like, that's growing because of photosynthesis, and like that's there because it helps block out sunlight and you can see more things.
When I'm out of school, it's giving me something to do when I'm out of school or whatever, and it's something positive to do instead of, running around in my neighborhood, getting into different kind of, getting into stuff.
It did change me in some ways. I didn't used to talk to strangers as much. Now I just walk in the street, I see somebody, and I think of something, and I just say it out loud to them. Sometimes they'll talk back, and sometimes they won't, and they'll just walk away like I'm some crazy girl. but it just made me more sociable and like outgoing.
Being an explainer means, I think, just willing to learn what's going on, like just willing to learn, like sitting there and listening and taking everything in, and then processing it and putting back what you have.
My favorite part of being an explainer is probably when a kid like smiles or laughs when it comes to like doing cow eye dissection or like a flower dissection. Even when they get something out of it, when you see that you actually affected someone by doing a magic trick, it's really rewarding just to see that you made their day.
I think it's made me a much more confident public speaker. Having to learn to interact on the spot with visitors of different ages and different backgrounds has made me really more comfortable with people that I don't know.
Well, it was my first job, so it gave me basic work skills. It taught me how to be responsible. I mean, I'm in this transitioning phase of becoming an adult because I just turned 18 a few months ago, and it's just kind of like the beginning of the rest of my life.
I feel more that I should try to go after things that may seem far out there, may seem as though I may not get to them, and maybe I won't, but it would have been better than just trying to just go the easy route all the time. I'm still being cautious, and I want to have at least something that's steady in my life, but at the same time I want something that gives me enough freedom so I can try to go out there and do what I love, what I want to do. And if it doesn't work out, then fine, but at least I would have tried.
And action in 3, 2. Do you have anything you... Good.